Hey, how you doing? Adam here. Date is 10/31, Halloween. Happy Halloween. Yeah, so I had a list of things that I wanted to talk about here that I'm just going to jump right into. I want to read, because what I normally do is, because I'm always laying in bed and I'm thinking of these, like, ridiculous thoughts. And, what I do is that I just write them down. And, I say to myself, I'll talk about these later. And the first thing that I thought of was, here's exactly what I wrote down. Zooming in on a hammer that works. As in, you can like hammer a nail or whatever. I keep seeing it in neon, like the sword in Mega Man X2. That part in Mega Man X2 where you have to fight that like sort of neon sword thing. I think in Magna Centipede, I forget what his name is, Magna Centipede or something. There's something about that stage that sticks into my subconscious, and I'm not entirely sure why. But it's come up in like when I'm doing writing songs and stuff. There's like the alarm in that stage, that boop boop boop. Something about that, like that, just that boop sound. And also from Clashman stage. I think no from Quickman stage, that those yellow beams that go across. Something about an ascending sound like that has stuck into my subconscious for years, and I don't know why, and it's come up in my songwriting unconsciously. Like I'm not trying to make it come up, but it just keeps coming up for some reason. Anyway, that's a sidetrack. Yeah, okay, I keep saying like neon, like the sword from Mega Man X2, but then all you're doing is zooming in on it, and it stops working, and you have to fix the thing, kind of like the Garden of Eden. I hear a fucking garage door opening. Hold on. Okay, so I'm back, and so yeah, what I think this is all pointing to. Okay, I didn't read the last part, but the hammer gets more sophisticated as you fix it after you zoom in. What I think this is all pointing to is sort of like, and I only know this because I was listening to Jordan Peterson's biblical lectures where he's talking about the Bible and stuff. In the beginning of the Bible, like as you drift further away from the beginning of the Bible, like the Garden of Eden, and then you drift away from it. It seems like the character God, like you drift further away from him. Like it gets harder to get like into contact with him, because like I think the story of Abraham's sort of like just talking with God, like just casually. But if you go further into the Bible, it starts to become like you can't quite get to him as easily. Like you have to go through the Ark of the Covenant. You have to like fucking wash yourself of fungus and all that shit. And I think what I'm seeing here is sort of like that, like you take something for granted when you're young, like the pristineness of being young, and as you zoom in on yourself, like as you get older, you start like to get corrupted, or you start like how your face ages, like it starts out pristine and then it starts aging, and then it keeps getting harder to get back to that ideal. And so, as you zoom in on something, the more you see like the imperfections of it, and you have to tinker around a bit for it to get it right again, to get it like back to the pristine state, or not the pristine state. But see, here's the thing: the pristine state. This is exactly the Enrique Iglesias or whatever the fuck thought I had, where you start out like singing like a child, like ah, like it's easy to sing when you're a child, but then it gets harder to sing as you become an adult. And it's that sort of like leaving the Garden of Eden thing where things get more difficult. But the thing is that when you leave, the potential to hit higher notes, more meaningful notes becomes. You can't do it in the Garden of Eden. You have to step out, and then what you're doing becomes more meaningful. You know what I mean. Hopefully. Okay, so that was that thought. Intelligence is kind of like brands, a measure of a successful company. How much that... Okay, this is the second thing I wrote. Intelligence is kind of like brands. The measure of a successful company is how much money they make, but they're not going to be doing the same thing. People have to... Okay, yeah. The analogy in my head was that IQ is sort of like, it's just measuring the same thing that like you could measure with a company. Like the amount of money a company makes is analogous to like somebody's IQ. So like Pepsi probably makes ridiculous amounts of money, and so you could say that they have a high IQ because of strictly the amount of money that they make. But Pepsi and fucking, I don't know, Domino's Pizza, they're not necessarily doing the exact same thing. It's a different brand of sort of intelligence that you're measuring. But, you can count money as sort of like the same. And if that's making sense. Like, somebody's intelligence is, it's specific to them. Like, you could, I can't, I don't know how to say this. Somebody's intelligence is kind of like their own brand, like, because people have different styles of intelligence. Like, Sam Harris is intelligent in his own kind of way, and so is Jordan Peterson. But, measuring their IQ would be like measuring the amount of money that a big company makes. And so, of course it's measuring something. Of course it's measuring their success in, whatever, the culture or whatever, but it's not the entire story. So, I think that's what I'm getting at there. Okay, people end up looking like the people that they idolize physiologically. Jim Norton has the same chin as Ozzy Osbourne somehow. I think it's epigenetic. Oh yeah, I was thinking, because if you look at Jim Norton, the comedian, he like loves Ozzy Osbourne, and if you look at his chin, he has the same chin and very similar facial features to Ozzy Osbourne. And I wonder how much of that is like his subconscious recognizing in Ozzy Osbourne, like he was looking at himself when he first saw Ozzy Osbourne, or the more interesting answer, what if he liked Ozzy Osbourne first and then started morphing into him, like physiologically morphing into Ozzy Osbourne, like just I happen to think that it's the second answer. Like, he found something he liked about Ozzy Osbourne, and then his physiology drifted toward looking more like him. Like, that would be the way more interesting answer. And I mean, if you, it's not just Jim Norton, it's everybody. Like, if you look at them and then you look at their idols, you see that they look physiologically similar. And I think there's some kind of epigenetic thing going on there. I think. Like, I just thought of the worst thing ever. Like, some, like, people say that, or Christians, people that are Christian, they say, you can pray yourself enough to be white. Or no, that's the Mormons, I think, say that. And so, it's kind of like that. But it's not, it's not, well, maybe it is, I don't know. But maybe Michael Jackson prayed enough and he became white. But yeah, I mean, people, they end up looking like their idols, and I think there's something going on there. Okay, I had a couple other thoughts here that I wanted to save for the next journal, but I guess I'll just read them. I'm beginning to see people's auras. I think it will be a big revelation in the coming years. Everyone's oral. Yeah, well, this is a thing I've been noticing recently, is that when I look at people, I can almost visually see their stories. If that makes any sense. Like the aura that they're putting, like just some way and some subtlety in the way that they're moving, or their facial expression is like sparking something in my subconscious, and I'm seeing everything that they are. And it's not a bad thing. I think, it's just like, as I get older, I get more sensitive to that sort of thing. But I think it's not just me. I think it's everybody. I actually think this is not like, I think we're in a time where just information is going to start making magic happen. And we'll be able to just see each other's auras. And not only that, but just so much magic is going to be happening very soon. I mean, that's probably like, phantasmagorical talkings. That's an in Mendham word, phantasmagorical. Yeah, in Mendham is like Jordan Peterson's exact antagonist. Like, if they had a debate, that would be the ultimate debate: in Mendham versus Jordan Peterson. Because Jordan Peterson's all against nihilism and postmodernism and all that shit, and in Mendham's, well, I don't know how much in Mendham's for like postmodernism, but in Mendham's all about the fucking nihilism and antinatalism, and I think that would be if Jordan Peterson, if you're listening, I know you're not, but if you are, try to get into contact with in Mendham, because that would be an interesting debate. If he would even agree to it, because he's kind of a grouch. It's Oscar the Grouch. That was stupid. Okay, 10 seconds left. Good journal, I feel. Going to go upstairs, edit the video, for the thing, and put these two journals online. And okay, goodbye.